The beauty of rivers isn't just in their flowing waters, it's the life they bring to civilizations and ecosystems. Today, we're counting down the top 50 most important rivers in the world. Let's explore their lengths, sources, capitals, ports, navigability, countries, and economic significance. At number 50, the Tagus River in Spain and Portugal. This river stretches 1,007 kilometers, originating in the Sierra de Albarracin in Spain and flowing into the Atlantic Ocean near Lisbon. The Tagus is navigable near its mouth, with Lisbon being a major port. It supports agriculture, energy, and tourism in both Spain and Portugal. At number 49, the Ebro River in Spain. Spanning 930 kilometers, it originates in the Cantabrian Mountains and empties into the Mediterranean Sea. It is essential for irrigation in Spain and features ports like Tortosa, supporting agriculture and local trade. At number 48, the Po River in Italy. This 652-kilometer river begins in the Cottian Alps and flows into the Adriatic Sea. It is crucial for northern Italy's agriculture, with cities like Venice acting as significant trade hubs near its delta. At number 47, the Loire River in France. At 1,006 kilometers, it originates in the Massif Central and empties into the Atlantic Ocean. The port city of Nantes thrives on its banks, and the river is famous for the Loire Valley's wine and tourism industries. At number 46, the Dnieper River in Eastern Europe. This river spans 2,201 kilometers, flowing through Russia, Belarus, and Ukraine. Kyiv, Ukraine's capital, sits on its banks, and the river connects inland ports to the Black Sea. It is a vital waterway for trade and energy. At number 45, the Oder River in Central Europe. Stretching 854 kilometers, it flows through Poland, Germany, and the Czech Republic, with Szczecin serving as a major port near its mouth at the Baltic Sea. It supports industrial transport and cross-border trade. At number 44, the Jordan River in the Middle East. At just 251 kilometers, it originates from the Anti-Lebanon Mountains and empties into the Dead Sea. While not navigable, it holds immense religious and cultural significance, connecting Israel, Jordan, and Palestine. At number 43, the Salween River in Southeast Asia. Spanning 2,815 kilometers, it begins in the Tibetan Plateau and flows into the Andaman Sea. It supports agriculture and sustains rural communities in Myanmar and Thailand. At number 42, the Tapajós River in Brazil. A major tributary of the Amazon, it spans 2,430 kilometers and is vital for hydroelectric projects and trade in Brazil. It also supports biodiversity in the Amazon basin. At number 41, the Garonne River in France. At 602 kilometers, it flows from the Pyrenees to the Atlantic Ocean, with the port of Bordeaux being a key trade hub. It supports agriculture and wine production in the surrounding regions. At number 40, the Arno River in Italy. This 241-kilometer river flows through Florence and Pisa before emptying into the Ligurian Sea. While not fully navigable, it is significant for tourism and irrigation in Tuscany. At number 39, the Spree River in Germany. At 400 kilometers, it flows through Berlin, providing a key waterway for transportation, tourism, and trade in the German capital. At number 38, the Brahmaputra River in South Asia. Spanning 2,900 kilometers, it originates in the Tibetan Plateau and flows through India and Bangladesh before merging with the Ganges and emptying into the Bay of Bengal. Ports like Guwahati are vital for regional trade, and the river supports extensive agriculture. At number 37, the Syr Darya in Central Asia. Running 2,212 kilometers, it flows through Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, and Kyrgyzstan, eventually reaching the Aral Sea. It is crucial for irrigation and supports cotton production in the region. At number 36, the Niger River in West Africa. This 180-kilometer river flows through Guinea, Mali, Niger, and Nigeria, with key ports like Bamako and Niamey. It is essential for agriculture, fishing, and hydroelectric power. At number 35, the Tocantins River in Brazil. Spanning 2,450 kilometers, it supports hydroelectric projects, including the Tucuruí Dam, and facilitates trade in central Brazil. At number 34, the Han River in South Korea. At 514 kilometers, it flows through Seoul, where it plays a central role in transportation, tourism, and water supply for the capital city. At number 33, the Fraser River in Canada. This 375-kilometer river flows entirely in British Columbia, with Vancouver as a major port. It is vital for trade, fishing, and forestry industries. At number 32, the Tarim River in China. At 1,321 kilometers, it supports agriculture in the arid regions of Xinjiang. Although not navigable, it is crucial for sustaining life in one of China's driest areas. At number 31, the Tiber River in Italy. This 406-kilometer river flows through Rome, playing a significant role in the city's history. It supports tourism and local agriculture, though its navigability is limited. At number 30, the Mackenzie River in Canada. This river is 4,241 kilometers long, making it the longest in Canada. Its source is the Great Slave Lake, and it empties into the Arctic Ocean. It flows entirely within Canada, passing through the Northwest Territories. Fort Simpson is a key settlement along the river, which is navigable in summer for transporting goods, supporting local industries. At number 29, the Orinoco River in South America. Stretching 2,140 kilometers, its source is in the Parima Mountains in Venezuela, and it flows into the Atlantic Ocean. It flows through Venezuela and Colombia, with ports like Ciudad Guayana facilitating trade. It is navigable in sections, essential for oil and agricultural exports. At number 28, the Yukon River in North America. This river runs 3,190 kilometers, originating from Lake Bennett in British Columbia, Canada, and ending in the Bering Sea. It flows through Canada and Alaska, with Dawson City historically serving as a hub during the gold rush. It supports fishing and seasonal transport. At number 27, the Limpopo River in southern Africa. It spans 1,750 kilometers, with its source in South Africa, and it empties into the Indian Ocean. It touches South Africa, Botswana, Zimbabwe, and Mozambique. While not fully navigable, it supports local agriculture and sustains wildlife in the surrounding areas. At number 26, the Yellow River, Huanghe in China. This river is 5,464 kilometers long, originating from the Bayan Har Mountains and flowing into the Bohai Sea. It flows entirely within China, passing through major agricultural regions. The port city of Dongying marks its mouth, while capitals like Lanzhou rely on its waters for irrigation and hydropower. At number 25, the Elbe River in Europe. At 1,094 kilometers, it starts in the Kirkenos Mountains in the Czech Republic and ends in the North Sea. It flows through Germany and the Czech Republic. Hamburg, one of Europe's busiest ports, lies on the Elbe, which is navigable throughout its length and crucial for European trade. At number 24, the Amur River in Asia. This river is 2,824 kilometers long, with its source in the Argun and Shilka rivers, forming a border between Russia and China before flowing into the Sea of Okhotsk. It fosters trade between the two nations and supports fishing industries, though its navigability is seasonal. At number 23, the Vistula River in Poland. Stretching 1,047 kilometers, it begins in the Barania Gora Mountains and flows into the Baltic Sea. It flows entirely within Poland, with Gdansk as a key port and Warsaw, the Polish capital, along its banks. It is vital for transporting goods and connecting inland Poland to the sea. At number 22, the Shannon River in Ireland. This river is 360 kilometers long, rising from the Shannon Pot and emptying into the Atlantic Ocean via the Shannon Estuary. It flows entirely in Ireland, with Limerick as an important port. Its navigability supports tourism and local transport. At number 21, the Congo River in Africa. Spanning 4,700 kilometers, it originates in the highlands of the East African Rift and flows into the Atlantic Ocean. It flows through the Democratic Republic of the Congo and the Republic of the Congo. The ports of Kinshasa and Brazzaville support trade, and its waterways are vital for Central African commerce. At number 20, the Parana River in South America. At 4,880 kilometers, its source is the confluence of the Grande and Paranaíba rivers in Brazil, and it empties into the Rio de la Plata. It flows through Brazil, Paraguay, and Argentina. Cities like Rosario and Asunción depend on its navigability for transporting agricultural goods. At number 19, the Hudson River in the United States. It is 507 kilometers long, originating in Lake Terre of the Clouds in the Adirondacks and flowing into the Atlantic Ocean at New York Harbor. It flows entirely in New York State, connecting Albany to New York City, making it crucial for trade and industry. At number 18, the Indus River in Pakistan. This river stretches 3,180 kilometers, with its source in Tibet, and flows into the Arabian Sea. It flows through Pakistan and parts of India. Karachi, a major port city, lies near its mouth, and it supports agriculture and irrigation for millions. At number 17, the Thames River in England. At 346 kilometers, its source is in the Cotswolds, and it empties into the North Sea. It flows entirely in England, with London, a global capital, thriving along this historically vital and navigable waterway. At number 16, the Colorado River in the United States. This river is 2,334 kilometers long, originating in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado and emptying into the Gulf of California. It flows through Colorado, Utah, Arizona, Nevada, and California, supporting irrigation and hydropower in arid regions. At number 15, the Euphrates River in the Middle East. Spanning 2,800 kilometers, its source is in the Taurus Mountains of Turkey, and it flows into the Persian Gulf. It passes through Turkey, Syria, and Iraq. Baghdad relies on its waters for sustenance and irrigation. At number 14, the Seine River in France. It runs for 777 kilometers, beginning in the Langres Plateau and flowing into the English Channel. It flows entirely in France, with Paris depending on this river for trade and tourism, while Rouen serves as a key port. At number 13, the Rhone River in France and Switzerland. At 813 kilometers, it originates from the Rhone Glacier in the Swiss Alps and empties into the Mediterranean Sea. It supports trade in Lyon and Marseille, key cities on its navigable course. At number 12, the Zambezi River in Africa. This river is 2,574 kilometers long, with its source in Zambia, and it flows into the Indian Ocean. It passes through Zambia, Angola, Namibia, Zimbabwe, and Mozambique. Victoria Falls is a major feature, and it supports hydroelectric power. At number 11, the Murray-Darling Basin in Australia. Combined, these rivers stretch 3,672 kilometers, with sources in the Australian Alps and an outlet in the Southern Ocean. They support agriculture in New South Wales, Victoria, and South Australia. At number 10, the Tigris River in the Middle East. It is 1,850 kilometers long, originating in the Taurus Mountains of Turkey and flowing into the Persian Gulf. It flows through Turkey and Iraq, supporting agriculture and irrigation. At number 9, the Rhine River in Europe. Spanning 1,230 kilometers, its source is in the Swiss Alps, and it flows into the North Sea. It passes through Switzerland, Germany, and the Netherlands. Rotterdam, Europe's largest port, lies at its mouth. At number 8, the Volga River in Russia. The longest river in Europe at 3,531 kilometers, it begins in the Valdai Hills and flows into the Caspian Sea. Ports like Volgograd and Kazan support significant trade, making it Russia's lifeline. At number 7, the Mekong River in Southeast Asia. This river is 4,350 kilometers long, with its source in the Tibetan Plateau and an outlet in the South China Sea. It flows through China, Myanmar, Laos, Thailand, Cambodia, and Vietnam, fostering trade and agriculture. At number 6, the Ganges River in India and Bangladesh. Stretching 2,525 kilometers, its source is in the Gangotri Glacier, and it flows into the Bay of Bengal. It supports millions in agriculture, with Kolkata serving as a key port. At number 5, the Danube River in Europe. At 2,860 kilometers, it originates in the Black Forest of Germany and flows into the Black Sea. It touches Germany, Austria, Slovakia, Hungary, Croatia, Serbia, Bulgaria, Romania, Moldova, and Ukraine. At number 4, the Yangtze River in China. The longest river in Asia at 6,300 kilometers, it begins in the Tibetan Plateau and empties into the East China Sea. Shanghai thrives at its mouth. At number 3, the Mississippi River in the United States, spanning 3,766 kilometers. Its source is in Lake Itasca, Minnesota, and it flows into the Gulf of Mexico. It supports industries in Minnesota, Missouri, Louisiana, and beyond. At number 2, the Amazon River in South America. It runs for 6,575 kilometers, with its source in the Andes Mountains and an outlet in the Atlantic Ocean. It sustains Brazil, Peru, and Colombia with fisheries and transport. At number 1, the Nile River in Africa. The world's longest river at 6,650 kilometers, it begins in Lake Victoria and flows into the Mediterranean Sea. It touches Uganda, Sudan, and Egypt, supporting agriculture and trade.